This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. A repair project meant to be done weeks ago has turned into a nightmare for a Northside family.
Now, they did everything right. They have a contract in writing. They paid only the deposit, and they checked on previous work. But even then, it's been a painful project.
RTV6's Rafael Sanchez reports on the driveway dilemma.
Marcia Johnson is not one to cast stones, but she's fed up with all the rubble left on her property. And the driveway she expected to be done is not. She hired William Presley Jr. out of Anderson to tear out the old driveway and replace it with concrete. She wanted that smoother surface so that her mother, Rosie, would have a sturdy and safer path to take walks as she recovers from 2 strokes. Johnson paid $7,500 to get the project started back in May.
How much do you think you should refund her?
RTV6 reached out to William Presley Jr., who says he wants to complete the job and is interested in doing the right thing. So what do you want him to do?
I want him to give me the money that he has not used. It did not take $7,500 to tear up my drive, and he did not remove all of the existing drive. If you can see, there's debris in the back, and I had to pay another company to come and put gravel down.
Coming up tonight on the news at 6, what the contractor has to say about this project and the homeowner's response. I'm Rafael Sanchez. The story all new tonight at 6 o'clock.
And our RTV6, we keep an eye out for any issues where we might be able to help. If you have a problem in your life and you can't seem to get it fixed, connect with RTV6. You can do that on Facebook, Twitter, or just by emailing at workingforyou@rtv6.com.
We're now learning the names of 3 former employees of the massive farm in northwest Indiana, where an animal welfare group captured cruelty on video. Santiago Contreras, Edgar Vasquez, and Miguel Serrano are all being charged with misdemeanors. However, the Newton County Sheriff's Office say the 3 have not been arrested. Officers are still trying to find them. RTV6 was first to report on video shot last year showing workers abusing calves at Fair Oaks, which is one of the state's biggest agritourism operations. The farm also supplies milk used in Fairlife dairy products, which is part of the Coca-Cola brand that's bringing calls from some to boycott Coca-Cola as a result.
New at 5, getting CBD-infused products in Indiana will soon be as simple as a trip to the grocery store. Kroger is preparing to roll out CBD products like lotions, balms, and oils in 17 different states, including ours. CBD is made from a non-psychoactive ingredient in marijuana. It has been found to help people relieve pain and reduce anxiety. It's not yet sanctioned by the FDA, but Indiana legalized CBD products last year. You should soon be able to find them in any Kroger with a pharmacy. Take a look at some lovely shots downtown that we capture with our RTV6 drone today.
And here's Monument Circle from the point of view of the Victory statue at the top of the Soldiers and Sailors Monument.
Look at that Lady Victory. Looks small from far away, but did you know she's actually 30 feet tall?
Oh, man.
Some great shots with the drone, right?
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, right now at 5, we want to get you a first look at your forecast. The Storm Team 6 Chief Meteorologist, Kevin Gregory. Kevin.
What a day to go to the top of the monument. Of course, you're going to look straight south, north, west, and east, and an endless view. If you rate the day, I gave it a 9. You've always got the same room for improvement, but low humidity, lots of sunshine, light wind, and comfortable temperatures all combined to make this spectacular. 77 in Lafayette and Indianapolis. Right now, Muncie, the warm spot at 80. Otherwise, temperatures all in the 70s. Poised to drop once again into the 50s tonight. A very comfortable start on the way. For the evening hours, the wind is light. Our skies will stay clear with the exception of those mid to high level clouds that just kind of filter the sunshine. 67 the temperature at 11 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow morning, you'll wake up to temperatures in the 50s. We'll talk about a few changes that arrive during the day tomorrow coming up.
Thank you, Kevin. Construction has been in full swing along College Avenue for months as part of the Indigo Red Line project.
Now, in the past week or so, you've probably seen detoured to side residential roads because of closures along the road. Now, while crews install components of bus paths, leaving some neighbors concerned over safety. Arlena Martella has those details.
Enforcement officers have been blocking off sections of College Avenue as construction crews work on building bus pads for the Indigo Red Line construction project, which has neighbors concerned about extra traffic flow through these neighborhoods.
Cars are cutting through the neighborhood and running stop signs and going really fast.
This video taken Tuesday morning by Susan Duffy, who's lived on 58th Street nearly 20 years.
We were hoping that there'd be some more of a presence on the side streets to make sure that people don't just cut through the neighborhood at high speeds and run stop signs.
Duffy says she stood outside of her home for all of 5 minutes and got this footage while traffic is being detoured down her street for bus pad construction on College Avenue.
This was a quiet neighborhood. You'd never know it now. This is just a little residential street, but we've just had 6 cars go through in the last 30 seconds.
After Tuesday's bus pad installation at College and Kessler Boulevard, there's only 1 station left of the 7 stations along College. Nonetheless, the disregard of traffic laws is alarming, especially on a street with young children during peak hours of the day.
People are going downtown to work. People are coming up north. And an intersection that gets, I think, over 20,000 cars a day is completely blocked off in both directions.
Residents saying they're more than ready for the project to be complete.
I won't miss the construction. I'll be glad when it's gone. Good riddance.
From Broad Ripple, Elena Martella, RTV6.
Elena, thank you. And College Avenue will be closed Wednesday, weather permitting, near Broad Ripple Avenue for installation of the bus pads at the final remaining station. Repaving between 38th and 66th Streets is expected to begin on Thursday, again, weather permitting.
Heads up, if you're headed to the airport tomorrow, the Indianapolis Airport Authority is conducting a major emergency training exercise complete with a possible fire. We wanted to let you know about this, so if you do see smoke or commotion, you'll know what's going on. The plan is for several agencies to evaluate the airport's emergency operations plans. You should be able to see some of this going on if you're in Concourse B tomorrow around 10 o'clock in the morning.
We're now hearing from heartbroken family members and old coaches of a former Colts player who was shot and killed inside his own home in Florida last weekend. 26-year-old Eric Patterson, also a Ball State grad, died after Patterson's roommate heard commotion in their apartment, finding him on the ground. His family members say they are astounded at the crime.
He was in his own home, in his own bed, and somebody invaded his privacy. Not only did you kill my brother, you basically killed us in the inside. For the rest of our lives, my brother is gone.
Ball State University shared video of when Patterson played football there. Eventually, he moved on to the NFL, playing briefly for the Colts in 2015 before a short stint with the Rams. Before all of that, he played high school football in Florida. His former coach says it's a heartbreaking time for that school's football family.
Boy, as a football player, he showed some amazing flashes during his times here and inspired a lot of people who were younger.
Patterson leaves behind 2 daughters, a 6-year-old and a 7-month-old. His family believes someone targeted Patterson because he had 3 pit bulls who did not go after the person who killed him, leading them to believe the dogs knew Patterson's killer. Investigators seem to agree. They say the shooting does not appear to be random.
Still ahead on RTV6, he's made a big national name for himself, but today he's back home in Indiana with South Bend's mayor and 2020 presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg says America needs to prioritize immediately.
But first, HOAs are meant to keep the peace, but sometimes disputes can get heated. Some cases that may have you rethinking a homeowners association.
It's all about sunshine and comfort right now. Our chances for rain return tomorrow. We'll take you through the complete timeline coming up.
Tune up for only $89. On time.
Welcome back to the news at 5 right here on RTV6. Right now, we're bringing you a live look from our tower camera on top of Salesforce Tower in downtown Indy. It's looking at Bankers Life Fieldhouse, where the Indiana Fever will be hosting the Seattle Storm tonight. That tip-off is set for 7 o'clock, and a nice day to walk outside, too.
It is. I mean, there's nothing that's going wrong about this day. Get out there and enjoy it after you finish watching here. South Bend Mayor and presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg says America needs to prioritize climate change now and in the coming years.
Buttigieg spoke about national security at Indiana University this morning. The Indiana Democrats said the United States needs to rejoin the Paris Agreement, which the country left in 2017. It was an agreement signed by nearly 200 countries to try and limit greenhouse gas emissions worldwide. Above all, Buttigieg treated climate change as a matter of national security, as many 2020 presidential candidates do.
We've seen warnings from a generation ago realized today in floods in Indiana, tornadoes in Alabama, hurricanes in Puerto Rico, and the fires in California. And despite what we hear from this administration and from far too many Republicans in positions of responsibility, climate disruption is here. It is no longer a distant or theoretical issue. It is a clear and present threat.
In his speech, Buttigieg also called for better health care for veterans and recommitting to the Iran nuclear deal. Most recent polls show Buttigieg in 4th place for the Democratic nomination.
An historic fire has destroyed original recordings from major musicians like Elton John, Aretha Franklin, and Aerosmith. Today, the New York Times Magazine reported new information on a 2008 fire at Universal Studios Hollywood. This is home video of that fire. Today's report says the flames destroyed at least 500,000 master recordings. The studio never admitted the losses, according to today's report. It says the fire also destroyed masters from newer artists like Janet Jackson, Tupac, No Doubt, Eminem, and The Roots. According to the Times report, the studio launched a massive crisis management campaign to limit embarrassment and fallout from the fire. It sounds like the Boeing 737 MAX 8 will be grounded for a while. Neither Boeing nor the FAA would estimate when the planes may fly again. The planes have been grounded since March after 2 of the jets crashed within 6 months of each other. It blamed bad software for the crashes and promised a fix. Boeing says it's making progress. It will have to meet standards for several countries and individual airlines before this issue is over.
Thinking of moving to a condo community, maybe for retirement? Before you do, you should know the upsides and downsides of their homeowner associations. Consumer reporter John Matarese tells us some HOA horror stories so you don't waste your money.
Many people these days are moving to condo complexes or housing communities where everything is taken care of for you. It makes life so much easier. But make sure you know the pros and cons of that little thing called a homeowners association. Nordell Waynes is among the thousands of condo owners who have run into a brick wall with their HOA. In her case, it was after the association refused to help her fix her collapsing deck.
And I was told that if I didn't like it here, that I should sell my condo.
A report in cheapism.com calls HOAs paradise at a price. It found hundreds of reports of homeowners being fined or sued for having such things as a pink playhouse for a little girl, a kid's lemonade stand, pickup trucks on driveways, even when they were too big for the garage, eco-friendly clotheslines, and even support your troop signs. Further doesn't that stink file when an HOA gets so restrictive, its rules spark national outrage. A few years ago, a Northern Ohio Vietnam vet put up an American flag on a 15-foot flagpole. But the HOA said take it down and threatened a lawsuit. Doesn't that stink? But before he put his condo up for sale, veterans across the country made a stink. The HOA dropped its challenge, and the flag and the veteran stayed. There's nothing wrong with most HOAs that can keep your neighbor from parking a junk hauling dump truck outside your front door, but know the downsides. You don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese for RTV6.
So that's the bird's eye view of homeowners associations. For years, Call 6 Investigates have been keeping a close eye on what this all means for thousands of Indiana homeowners who face lawsuits from their own community associations. Lawsuits over unpaid dues and violations like grass growing out of control. Many of the complaints that we hear about HOAs include that they pick on certain people and that they just send letters without talking to people face to face. So recently we asked an HOA board member who says there are a lot of misconceptions that need to be cleared up.
What do you wish people knew about HOAs?
Well, first of all, they need to know that we're all volunteers, where there's no compensation for any of us. We do this on a voluntary basis. We do it because we want to make sure the community retains its value.
By law, you should get at least 2 letters about your violation and some time to fix the problem. Never ignore those letters.
Today, the Colts wrap up some of their final summer practices before picking up full steam for the new season. The veteran mini camp gets underway today. It's 3 days of practices before the team gets a month break to recharge before training camp. The team is hoping Andrew Luck will be back on the field this week after sitting out with a calf injury.
Get ready for some long lines around Monument Circle this Thursday. We're gearing up today for the Christ Church Cathedral Strawberry Festival. This year marks 54 years for the event. Tens of thousands Thousands of shortcakes will be baked and ready to go, with hundreds of volunteers coming to help serve strawberries, ice cream, and the handmade, homemade shortcakes there. The festival happens on Monument Circle from 8:30 in the morning to 4 p.m. Thursday, or until supplies last. And frankly, they do not usually last until 4, if you know, right? And don't forget, go by the ATM, because this is a cash-only event. And it is worth it.
Absolutely. I know that's one of your favorites. I think Todd Clausen, too.
It is. It is.
He gets very excited for it.
I have to share it with somebody. It's a lot for one sitting.
I don't want to share.
It's a quiet event because everybody's
not talking.
This was pretty cool today. Obviously, you enjoyed the sunshine, but I don't know if you had a chance to look up at all. A nice ring around the sun. We see it around the moon sometimes. Do you guys see that?
I see the ring, yeah.
All right, so that's pretty good. I just took that with my phone. The clouds are made of ice crystals, which bend or refract the sunlight, and you notice there's little colors like of the rainbow around that. So that's pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
It's also
lesson.
Yeah.
In your 5 o'clock newscast, to look at that.
I try to do it all, working for you. As far as the hint at a change there, it comes with those mid to high level clouds. Those will increase tomorrow and even later tonight and lead to our chance for rain. Most significant chance of rain overnight into Thursday morning, and then as we get to the weekend looking ahead, any rain now sits well out to the west in portions of Iowa and Nebraska. It is a beautiful, comfortable evening. 80 in Greensburg and in Muncie. Otherwise, temperatures below the average high of 81, in the middle to upper 70s over the western half of the state. Say hello to Bear. Look at Bear. He's out in the sunshine today, but dogs always know where the shade is, too.
He's looking right at the camera, too.
Yeah, Terry Sherman sent in that picture. Thank you. If you're taking your dog for a walk this evening, perfect conditions. That wind is light. Temperatures after sunset fall off into the mid-60s. That's by 11 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow, temperatures increase to mid-70s, a little warmer. Clouds will increase. The chance of rain stays modest through the daylight hours, just a 30% chance we'll see a thunderstorm. I think it's more likely after dark tomorrow night. There are temperatures from north to south, again in the 70s, missing the 81-degree average high temperature. As you look at the cloud cover, 1 to 4 increasing. 7 o'clock, some showers, thunderstorms isolated to the east. The actual cold front are trigger for more thunderstorms coming in from the west. 11 o'clock tomorrow night, they're still fairly isolated, but overnight into the morning hours on Thursday, the most likely time for more widespread rain and some isolated thunderstorms. Then a much cooler and windy day on Thursday. Winds Thursday 20 to 30 miles per hour out of the northwest, and temperatures will struggle just to make it out of the 60s. We'll stay in the mid-60s for a high. Friday, beautiful day, great way to end the work week. 40% chance of thunderstorms Saturday. Thunderstorms are likely Saturday night, and on Sunday, temperatures are back to around 80 or 81.
All right.
It's going to get warmer.
Yeah, and it's summertime, so it should, right?
There we go.
Just talked about summertime, but get ready, get excited for Frozen 2. Yeah, Disney just put out the new trailer for the Frozen sequel today. We'll find out why Elsa was born with magical powers, along with getting to see your favorite characters in new adventures. That film hits theaters November 22nd.
Well, you know where I'll be November 22nd.
Sitting right there in the first row at Frozen.
Well, coming up on the news at 5, Court TV returns, and this time we finally have a verdict. Look at one of the court cases taking the attention of the nation next when the news on RTV6 continues. You're watching the news at 5 on RTV6. Court TV is bringing you coverage of some of the most compelling court cases around the country. RTV6's parent company Scripps now owns the network.
And tonight the verdict is in the trial against former NFL tight end Kellen Winslow, the second who is accused of rape. We go now to Court TV's Seema Iyer.
Good afternoon. I'm Seema Iyer with Court TV. Breaking news in California versus Kellen Winslow II. Mr. Winslow is in fact a convicted rapist. The judge declaring a mistrial after taking a partial verdict late yesterday.
It now appears to this court that this jury is hopelessly deadlocked with respect to counts 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 11, and 12. I now declare a mistrial, and I will discharge the jury from further service in this case.
Will there be another trial on the remaining counts? We will find out Friday, 10 a.m. That's Pacific Standard Time. And that's all we have for now. Court TV will keep following all the developments in this trial. Now, back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Seema. You can stream Court TV live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at courttv.com.
Now, coming up all new at 6 o'clock, concerns about the safety of a road that has driving dodging a large pothole. Tonight, we're working for you after one driver contacted us for help. We'll find out new at 6.
But first on the Now, Indiana is not the healthiest state in the nation, but now that's having some big side effects. How bad health is affecting big business? Ahead at 5:30. You're watching RTV6.
And we're giving you a live look right now from atop the tallest building in Indianapolis, the Salesforce Tower, getting a great view, a bird's eye view there of our state capitol. More news when we return.